Hi, welcome back to Elaine's Basic Cooking. What we're going to be cooking today is a slow cooked lamb roast. Ours is quite a big one because we've got 4 strapping lads here that eat quite heartily. So yeah, if you want to do a smaller one, you just halve your recipe. Okay, what we're going to do first is just take a wander out to our rosemary bush and chop our rosemary bush up. What we've got is 2 red onions, and we're going to take the top and bottom off them, and then we're going to cut them into circles so we can lay them at the bottom of the roasting pan. And then you put half of your rosemary on top of that, your lamb on top of that, then rosemary, and we are going to add some chicken stock, about half a cup of chicken stock. Okay, so just cutting down into rings. Keeping them behind the blade, except for when you're doing this. Okay, I'll lay this at the bottom of the pan just to make sure I only need one and not 2. Probably it will be 2. Oops, yeah, definitely 2. Okay. Right, that should be all good. Now, half the rosemary, just laying it down, without the leaf in it. This is going to give a really nice flavour to your lamb. Okay, pop your lamb on top of that. Hopefully it's going to fit on alright. And sprinkling of salt and pepper over top of it. Rock salt is really nice to use because that just really brings the flavour out better. I don't have any of that. Pepper.
Now you can use white or black pepper, it's not that important to which.
And the voice that you can hear is my flatmate Mike, who is also doing the videoing of all of us for me. Okay, I'm just using stock cubes at the moment because this is all we've got in the house. What I like to use, or would like to use, is actual stock already made up. It comes in a carton, you can get them all different sizes. But yeah, basically you're just working with what you've got in your house. Okay, just use another one. Okay, about a half a cup. And just pour that at the bottom of your roasting pan. Okay, I've already got the oven set at 150 on fan bake. You can have it on bake or fan bake, doesn't really matter. And it's going to go in the oven for this size, it's going to probably be about 5 hours, and then it'll do a 20-minute rest time at the end of it. And there we have it, and yeah, we will see you back. I've poured the stock in, and now we have the rosemary on the top, which I just put the roast into the oven, and my cameraman told me you forgot to add the rosemary on top, so here we go. Right, let's try this one more time. Right, so we're going to come back in a couple of hours time, and we're going to do our roasted carrots and do set up our potatoes for mashed potatoes at the end of it. Okay, welcome back after a couple of hours. What I'm going to do now is the gravy, just to save myself a little bit of time at the end of the dinner, because one of the guys in this flat has to go to work this evening, so we've got to have a fairly early dinner for him. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting a good knob of butter into the fry pan, melt that down, and I've got, I don't know, 300 mils? 400 mils of beef stock. I haven't got my glasses on, so can't see what it reads. So I've got the beef stock here, and we're going to sift some flour in once the butter, the butter is melted, and we're just going to add the stock to that. Just add a little bit more water. Let that heat up a bit.
So we just want that to come up to like a low simmer?
Yep.
Okay, what happens if you bring it to a full boil? Is that just going to burn it?
It just cooks it too fast, and you could end up with lumpy bits through it. So you just have it at a nice simmer, and it works well.
Okay. So how much flour would you be adding, all that sort of stuff?
Well, I've got a heaped dessert spoonful here at the moment, and I just gauge it because of the amount that I'm doing, so it just alters all the time. If you're doing half the amount, well, you just do half the amount of flour, but you just take it to the consistency that you want it at.
So for those who aren't aware, what the bubbles are doing now is called a low simmer.
Never done it this way round before. I've normally just melted the butter and then put the flour in and then added the liquid, so it's a bit odd for me to be doing it back to front like this, but I've seen someone else do it, so I thought I'd give it a go and see if I can do it just as good. And to be honest, I actually prefer already doing it the other way around. You make a roux with flour and butter, and then you add your liquid to it.
Now the purpose of using a whisk is just to break up the flour evenly. You can also use a fork if you don't have a whisk, and it just helps separate it through into the liquid nicely, so you don't get clumps.
Well done, Mike.
So you should be able to notice that it's starting to thicken up already, just slightly. It's not just running around the pan like water.
And basically you just bring it to the consistency that you like. Oh, another thing is, if you've got a non-stick pan, don't use a metal whisk on it.
Wood or plastic utensils?
Yeah.
And what is the purpose of not using metal in a non-stick pan?
It scratches the bottom out and then you take your non-stick away. So you don't want to be forever going out and buying a brand new non-stick pan. Take it a little bit thicker.
So if you like good thick gravies, you can keep adding flour and stirring it consistently, and it will get to
A blodge.
a blodge or like a PVA glue kind of consistency. If you like it a bit runnier, if it's getting too thick, just stop adding flour and just add in a little bit of warm water, and that'll soften.
I think that will do for us. And then just keep simmering away for a little bit, stirring, just to cook the flour out. Because if you don't, it's just going to taste of flour. Just while I'm doing this, the next thing that we're going to be doing is putting our carrots onto roast. So you're going to peel those and then put them in a roasting pan, just pop them in the oven. Because we've got about another hour to go on the roast lamb, and also I'm going to peel the potatoes and put those in a pot and get those on the go as well. Because like I say, we've got one of the guys here has to go to work this evening, so he's on a night shift, so we have to have relatively early dinners when he's on night shift. Right, that is that done. Let's have a little taste and see whether we have to season it up at all. Yum, that's nice. Very good. And because you're using beef stock, you actually don't need to add any salt. Like I've not added any salt to that, and you've still got your beautiful flavour coming through. Okay, let's take that off the heat.
And good tidy kiwis, clean as they go.
They do. Okay, I've got 5 potatoes here, because that should be enough to feed 3 guys and myself. 2 of the guys are pretty big eaters. They love their food. So, but yeah, just do enough potatoes to feed whatever size family or friends you're cooking for. And also tidying up as you go along, it gives you better results in your cooking because you are not trying to cook in a mess. If you don't tidy up and you end up cooking in a mess, it results what your food tastes like as well. So but then I've got my cameraman here, so he can do the cleaning up for me. So I'm quite lucky.
Yeah, that's it. Put me on the spot. Okay, now is there a reason why you're peeling toward your wrist and not toward your fingers?
This way?
Yes.
Because that to me is very awkward.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you like your fingertips.
I do.
Now if you notice the side of the peeler along here has a rubbered ridge, so if it does hit her palm, it doesn't actually cut into her, it just stops on the wrist.
Yeah.
There are various types of peelers. People can use a knife, cheese graters, all kinds of different things to peel the potatoes or carrots and vegetables. So it's just depending on which one you've got and to which one you prefer. And of course, yeah, not cutting yourself in the process because, yeah, we're not all vampires, we don't all like blood with our food.
I'll just quickly peel these carrots as well. And carrots just have to be roughly peeled, that's, you know, don't have to be too fussy about that. Lots of people actually leave the skin on the carrots because actually there's a lot of goodness in the skin, but for roasting I actually prefer them peeled. So it's just your preference whether you want to peel or not. Bit of a tedious job, this one. Okay, and then chop the ends off. Okay, leave those for a minute. Now we're going to just chop our potatoes roughly because they're going to get mashed, so don't have to be fussy about it. And I'm going to have to talk to our other flatmate Aaron about sharpening his knife, because this is his knife and he normally has it super sharp, but I'm just feeling it is a little bit blunt at the moment. And I like really sharp knives because, oops, oh shit. One potato just went in the gravy.
Pre-seasoning.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Okay, keeping a sharp knife.
Oh yeah, because if you've got a sharp knife, you are actually less likely to chop your fingers.
Yeah, so the easier the knife goes through the item that you're cutting, the less likely you are to strain against it. And when you're straining to try and cut something, you're putting far too much force on it, and that of course causes slipping and sliding, and yeah, that ends up with bits being lopped off that shouldn't be. So it's very similar to if you've already pre-boiled a carrot and it's nice and soft and you try to cut through it, it's quite easy. If you're cutting a raw carrot, it's quite hard. Same sort of principle with the sharp knife versus a blunt knife. Blunt knife doesn't matter how cooked the food is, it's bloody hard to get through it. And you're trying to force it and you can end up hurting yourself.
Gotta love my cameraman, eh? Okay, so I've just cut the carrots down lengthwise. Just so it gives a little bit more carrot on the plate and cooks a little bit better. Okay, so what I've done is I've put water, just put enough water in there to just cover the potatoes, and now I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt. As you can see, I don't use measuring spoons or cups or anything when I'm baking. I mean, when I'm cooking like this. If I'm doing cakes or biscuits or anything like that, then yes, I do use measuring cups and spoons.
Otherwise, a good guesstimation always works.
Okay, so roasting pan. Come with me, cameraman, otherwise we don't reach. Oops, sorry. Have to turn my back on you guys every now and again because I have a cable running down my back and I will trip on it. Okay, so just a little bit of oil in the bottom of this. You can use any sort of oil you like. We use canola oil because one of us is allergic to nuts, sesame and stuff like that, so have to be very careful on excuse me, on what sort of oils and bits and pieces we put into our food. So just a little bit of salt and pepper to season it, and then get your fingers in there and mix it up.
So you're just spreading the oil, salt and pepper over the carrots as you're mixing them around like that, and then spreading them out so that they all fit nicely and evenly in the pan also helps cooking.
Yeah. Alright, wash the hands.
Now a note with the salt and pepper going on this early, not a lot of people do that. Some people prefer to do that later. It doesn't matter. The flavour's still going to get into the food either way, so just doing it now saves you the trip later.
Yeah, and it's really just your preference on how you like to do it. This is my preference. Flatmates, they probably prefer to do it other ways, but you know, this is my cooking show, so we're doing it my way. Okay, we'll pop this into the oven with the meat, and I'll pull this out and just have a little look-see. Yum, that is looking good. Alrighty. Okay, we have got about 1 more hour to go with the roast meat. And I'll just turn the potatoes on to low, just to keep it going. And yeah, I'll see you back in about an hour's time. Okay, welcome back. It is finally cooking time again. The final touches. So potatoes are cooked, drain them off. Put a good knob of butter in, and I got told off last time for going crooked, so I'll straighten it up this time. Happy? And I've never done this before because I've always mashed potatoes with milk, but I was told to try some oil, so I'm going to give it a go this time and see what happens. A bit more?
Yeah,
yep. There we go. So we'll start off with the potato masher. Add a little bit of pepper to it. Just adds more flavour. And normally when I mash, that's about it. But I've also been told to try using a whisk. So I'm going to, and see whether my arm can do it. Oops. And yeah, it's hard on the arm.
Arm day at the gym.
But it actually looks better than what it was. How's that? Okie dokie. Let's pop that there. And pop this away. Don't need that anymore.
Okay, I see you've got the right front element on, so you're just reheating the gravy that we had last time?
Yeah, I am. So I'm just going to use this. It's got potato on it, but hey, it's okay.
It's all going to go together anyway.
It is. Oh. Turn it up a fraction more. Okay, it's gone a bit thick, but hopefully that will. Okay, while that's heating up, I shall just get the the meat and the carrots out. Okay, so that's our carrots done. Let's put that there for the minute. And then this little beauty is our lamb. Look at that. Super yummy. burn my cameraman while I'm about it. Okay. You gotta love these drawers, eh? You don't find anything. There we go. Let's take this off. Okay. Oh. Right. And this should theoretically just pull apart like so. Like so. It's stuck on a bone or something.
Bit of gristle.
Bit of gristle. But yeah, look at that. Beautiful.
So I'm just quickly whisking this gravy back through just to soften it up again, and as you can see the lumps from before have already gone and it's just gone back to a nice even mixture again. Of course there's our carrots there and mashed potatoes there.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll just dish up one plate just so you can see. So what you're going to do is just put a nice dollop of potato on there. Two carrots. Oops, not quite that much meat. Bit of meat. I'll do. And
Drown it in gravy. Now if you want, you can still grab some of the onions and rosemary from here, but you would prefer to drain off all the oil before you stick it on your plate.
And there you go. One beautiful roast lamb, slow roast lamb dinner. Okay, so that's the end of our cooking today, and we will be back in a day doing something else.